What is our problem? The problem is cash flow. I know many people that I have talked with are so concerned that they are not going to have enough money to overcome the rising cost of everything. And we know everything is going up. And I don't think there's going to be any difference in 2023, but we'll see. Could get worse, could get better. I want to suggest 6 ways to overcome this, 6 ways that you can survive and thrive in 2023. Number 1, get a second job or create your own job. Or if you've got a computer, you can go online, and there are many companies hiring part-time and full-time jobs for customer service reps. If you're really fast and accurate in your typing, you might be more interested in data or data entry. There's also medical companies that deal with medical issues, and you may find a job that way, and I think they're all online. Number 2, start a house cleaning service. It's one of the few jobs that I know of that the startup cost is very small compared to other jobs. The main thing you need is a lightweight vacuum cleaner with hose and attachments and a mop and a bucket. And you may have the other items you need at home. I personally know of an individual and 2 couples who started a house cleaning business, and they do very well. There are so many people who may work or they're extremely busy who are looking for that honest, reliable person that does a really good job. And word of mouth is your very best advertisement. Number 3 is to sell baked goods. And you can specialize in 1 or 2 items, whatever you would choose, like cupcakes, donuts, pies, pastries, cookies, whatever you can think of, because people always love desserts of some type. Always check to make sure that you're in compliance with the city and county codes. If you have the money, you might want to open up a small shop to sell your product, or you may find a larger store that will rent you a small space, keeping your expenses down, and you could sell your product through that small space. I know 4 or 5 different stores just in my small area that have thrived. They even survived COVID by either having a drive up or a pickup or online, and they're still thriving. They're even doing more today than what they started out doing. Number 4 is always plan out your shopping trips, doctor's visits, or whatever you might need to go leave your home to go do. I make a plan, and it's a written plan that shows me where I should go first. And I can do this, and that, and all in one day, and make a loop back to my home. It will save a lot of gas. It will save your time. I don't backtrack. I want to plan it out to where I don't backtrack. Number 5, always be on the lookout for a better job. Don't be complacent in your job, especially if you're not real crazy about your job. There's few jobs that have job security, and I read all the time about people that they think they've got a job for the rest of their life. All of a sudden, that company shut down. They lose their job immediately. They had no warning. But if you're on the lookout for a better job, you want more benefits, you want better pay. So always put that out there to people that you come in contact with, to ask them, do you know if someplace is hiring that has good pay, good benefits? I had a friend 8 years older than myself I told her she was my mentor, and I always thanked her so much every time we talked for showing me what she had did. She was later in life, probably in her 50s, when she decided to work outside the home, and she got a job. I thought that was admirable. She went to work, and she had good pay, but she found out that after a couple of years, there was nowhere to go up. She couldn't get promoted into a better job. So she left that job. Before she left the job, she found a better job. And she did that several times. And some of her friends and family would ask her, so why are you changing a job so often? You know, back there in their thoughts, you used to could have a job for the rest of your life. Once you got a job, you just stayed there. She said, I get a better job because I want better benefits and I want better pay. I want to move up. I don't want to just get stagnant in my job. She was always on the lookout for a better job. Number 6, and this may sound a little strange to you, but if you've got a little extra time, or if you're without a job right now, become a volunteer. Become a volunteer at your local hospital, a church, a food bank, a thrift store that's for charity, a charity type thrift store, or Habitat for Humanity. That's just to name a few. When you help others, it gives you self-confidence. It brings you in contact with people from diverse backgrounds, and you never know when you're going to meet somebody that is in the hiring at a company. You never know that when you're going to be working right alongside a CEO, because they don't have anything, they don't have a name tag that says, hey, I'm an important person. They just don't do that. But you form friendships or acquaintances that put you in contact, and a lot of times you become friends. Sometimes it's lifelong friends, and you may have the opportunity for getting a better job. That's not why you volunteer. You volunteer strictly to help someone else. When you give of yourself and you take your concentration off of your problems and you volunteer to help somebody, it comes back twofold for you. I hope this list has helped you a lot. I want to give you an example of, like, be on the lookout for a better job. This is my story. 9 years ago, I walk into the church. I'm early. Well, there's already a lady sitting there on the back row about midways. And I walk up to her, introduce myself, and she tells me her name. And we talk a little bit, and I said, welcomed her to the church. And so I said, can I sit beside you? She said, sure, come on over. So I walked around and I came in beside her. During our conversation, we were talking, she's asked me, says, where do you work? I said, I'm looking for a job. Said, I just left a job that was a seasonal job and it ended. And she said, so let me give you the information about the place where I work. And she gave me the information. She said, they are hiring and I'll recommend you. So on Monday, I followed her instruction, went online, put the application in, and within like 2 weeks, I had a brand new part-time job. I loved that. and I enjoyed working there. It put me in contact with many different people. It was like a marketing company. And I worked there for 2 years. Eventually, I thought I need to get a full-time job because that job was slowing down. They didn't have many opportunities for me. So I went online, I found a job, I put my application in, and they hired me. Now, the working conditions weren't the greatest, but it was a customer service representative. And I went to work there. I stayed there about 2 years. And during the time there, I made a lot of different friends because there was a diverse amount of people in that office. They had a lot of different workers. Turnover was very high, but I stayed there for 2 years. One of the ladies that I really connected with, we had swapped cell phone numbers, and she contacted me and she says, I found a better job and it pays more, better working conditions. You need to come here. She says, and I'll recommend you. So I put in my application, gave my notice at the company that I was at, and so I put my application in. I got my job interview. I went in and I had a brand new job, better working conditions and better pay. My friend Joyce taught me well, and I thanked her. Before she passed away, I thanked her so much for all of her help and for her being my mentor. So I was there for 2 years at this company. And I really liked my job. I always loved my coworkers. 2 years into that, I get a certificate for my 2-year anniversary. And then toward the end of that year, I was getting very, very sick. I had vertigo so much, I couldn't stay at work. I'd get to work, I would get on the computer, have to shut it down, and we already had a deal that if I was getting sick because I had vertigo, and I had a 45-minute drive home. And they said, if you get sick and you can't go, then you have somebody come pick you up. And so, but I drove home, which was not the smartest thing I've ever done. But into the 3rd year, I realized I was staying home more than I was working, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I walked in one morning and I said, I'm going to resign. And I went to my supervisor, and I'm sure they were happy because I couldn't stay at work. They need workers. And the rest is history. So as I'm trying to recover at home to get over this vertigo, and I did end up doing it. It took me like 6 or 8, maybe 9 months. I did overcome it. But I started a YouTube channel, and I had gone ahead and signed up, but it was months before I could do a video. Then when I did a video, it was like I had to just time it right because I couldn't always do it. But the rest is history. What I intend to do for 2023, among other things, because I do have a few little side jobs, not real big, but my goal is to get my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours, which you have to do it within a 1-year period. I hope to do it a lot quicker than that by making good content videos. I hope this video has helped you, and may God bless you, and thank you for watching.